Hello, everybody, and welcome back to IncaOne's channel. We're sitting here once again with Ed, and we want to go through a conversation with you guys about gold. Now, gold is one of those things that a lot of people are interested in. We've been interested in it for all of history, right, Ed?
It's been the number one currency in history, yeah, like you say. So it's something that goes way back for thousands of years that people have been using to create commerce.
Agreed. Back then, it was often considered just very beautiful. It was really good for trading, really good for jewelry. We've developed a lot of use cases for it in the modern world. And we're here to talk to you guys today about why you should potentially be interested in holding some physical gold and looking at gold companies. So first off, Ed, tell people about why they should hold physical gold in this modern world with our current currency situation.
Yeah, well, I think it's something that's really misunderstood, and we're not taught about it in schools. We don't. We're just taught, spend, and buy the moment and these types of things. But especially in times like right now, I think it's really important for people to be able to protect their wealth. And if you've got all your wealth just tied up in local currency, like say us here in Canada, maybe a little bit different than the US, but I think there is some correlation there. We've been printing billions of dollars and basically doubled our debt that we had, our national debt in the past that we rang up in 150 years. We've basically doubled it in the last 6 years. So, and we haven't really seen, or they haven't been able to, they haven't leaked it out anyway. They've been keeping it under wraps. And the inflation, how that's been inflationary, and that's a tax on citizens, normal, like everyday citizens that are out there, and they're being taxed with inflation higher, that I believe much higher than what the government's reported. So one way to be able to protect yourself is to buy some precious metals.
Yeah.
And these precious metals, you can see in the last 20 years have gone up significantly, and precious metals, particularly gold, has done better than the stock market if you do any kind of correlations going back to the last 50 years, since 50 years ago when it came off the gold standard. And a nice thing about gold too is that it's a world currency. You can go anywhere in the world with an ounce of gold coin, and you can sell it, maybe at a little bit of a discount to the gold price, but it's something that you can sell anywhere in the world, and that should give you some kind of peace of mind.
Yeah,
to sleep at night.
That's a really good point. All these currencies in the modern world, they're no longer backed by anything except for confidence. Essentially, they're largely speculatory. And as you said, pretty much every Western country has been printing money in very large amounts, devaluing the currency kind of on an abstract level. No one's quite sure how much inflation is going on right now or how much is coming, but we do know, especially with COVID, there's a lot coming down the line. We definitely printed a lot of currency. And if you have money sitting in the bank earning 0.01% interest or some ridiculously low number, you're essentially bleeding money. Say the money, it has less buying power every day. So it's important to look at options for you where you can take your wealth and put it in a real store of value.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just have to look around the world where these fiat currencies, that they never last, right? You take a look, even the mighty Germans, the Deutschmark crashed, right? And they did a rollback. And we see it in Peru. We hear stories from just in the mid 80s when they had some hyperinflation, and they had to roll back the currency 1,000 to 1. And then, so if you had 1,000 soles, then suddenly the next day you only had 1 soles, right?
Yeah.
And sure, it could, it stopped the inflation for a period of time. I think it was about only 3 or 4 years later, they had to do a 1,000,000 to 1 rollback. So you combine both of those, and it's, I don't know what it is. It's like 1 billion to 1 rollback. So it just wipes out the middle class, unless you held an ounce of gold or 2 or 3 to be able to look after yourselves and have a hard currency and be able to go out and buy goods and services that maybe things, assets were on hyper sales at that point, and you were able to pick up something that just only because you had the foresight to own some physical gold, cash or shares, or anything like that is not going to do much for you in those times.
Agreed. You know, it's definitely a balance between having some level of cash on hand for small purchases, having money working for you in investing in the stock market, and obviously you can kind of synergize that a little bit with gold by looking at gold companies such as IncaOne, right? So there's definitely some overlay between them, but at the end of the day, having a good store of value is just kind of good practice.
Yeah. I look at it as wealth insurance,
Hmm.
right? Like you want to protect your wealth. In this kind of insurance, you can buy an ounce of gold and you're always going to get paid back when you want to at some point in time. Unlike other insurances where you go out and if you stop paying it, then it's gone forever, all the money that you've spent on it. So it's a great store of wealth. And everybody should have something instead of just, holding on cash or going even into the stock market and buying stocks before they have some wealth insurance. um, you should look at buying some sort of a precious metal
Agreed.
before you do that, just to be able to have that foundation in place, and you can feel good if you have, at some point you're going to need it. I don't know
Yeah,
when,
agreed. Yeah.
but
Yeah, and
yeah.
it isn't even just gold. So if you guys have any other metals that you guys like looking at, let us know. We'll talk about those too. There's a lot of them out there. A lot of them have a lot of use cases. It's just that gold has always kind of been the one that's caught mankind's eye. So that's the one we often stick to. But Ed, anything else you want to add about this before we go?
No, I think that's pretty much it. If you can check out different locations to be able to purchase it. There's just have to do a Google search and you can find numerous places, but go with somebody who is reputable and you get a hold of somebody. And but don't buy it on eBay or
Yeah.
Craigslist or anything like that. Go with a reputable company that has a storefront that you can go and actually talk to the person and pick it up physically, or somebody who's been has that, and something online that's got some sort of a reputation to be able to protect.
Yeah. Very good point. Watch out for counterfeiters. There's people out there that will try to scam you. Obviously, it's a very lucrative industry. So there's a lot of people out there just trying to get a buck and get above everybody else. But
Yeah.
all right, Ed, thank you for coming on. Thank you for the wisdom. And again, thank you everyone for watching. Have any questions about gold or any other precious metals? What are you looking at right now? So let us know below. We'll happily dive into it. But for now, Ed, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.